Grade 9s, we're going to be doing two experiments today, just to show balancing of equations. So I'm just using two chemical reactions in order to show balancing of equations. Now the two reactions are metals reacting with oxygen. So we need oxygen and we're getting it from a cylinder. And you should remember this because we've done this before, is that we're going to collect the oxygen using what is called the downward displacement of water. So out of this tube is coming oxygen. When it goes into here, it goes underneath the little beehive, and you can see what's happening is the oxygen is bubbling up into the gas jar. As it goes up, the water goes down, so that's why we call it the downward displacement of water. Now I put one of these little cover slips onto the jar, and what I've now got in there is pure oxygen. So I'm going to just do it again. Here's another gas jar. Oxygen comes out, rises to the top as it displaces the water to the bottom. Now the gas jar is full of oxygen. Put a cover slip over the bottom, and now what I've got in there is pure oxygen. We are now going to react magnesium with the oxygen that is in that jar, and we use what is called the deflagrating spoon. So it's a funny word for something that is pretty simple. What happens is this gets placed into the jar so that whatever's on the spoon reacts with the oxygen inside the jar. So I'm going to take this little bit of magnesium, wrap it around the spoon, and now I'm going to heat it. So you just need to watch carefully what happens to the magnesium on the deflagrating spoon. Okay, don't do this at home. Right, you can see that it burns very, very brightly. It's a characteristic burn of magnesium, that when it burns in oxygen, it makes what is called magnesium oxide, and the color of that magnesium oxide is a very bright white. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're now going to go to the prac sheet, and the prac sheet just speaks or talks through the experiment. So what you had was magnesium reacting with oxygen to form magnesium oxide. I think on your prac sheet it asks you to draw a picture of that, and then it asks you to write a balanced chemical equation. So if you just follow the instructions on the prac sheet, it will now take you through the rest of the experiment. Right, and the second part of the experiment is exactly the same, but this time what we're going to do is we're going to react iron. Now we use steel wool. It's called steel wool, but it's actually made out of iron, and we use steel wool, and we put that on the deflagrating spoon, and we put that into the oxygen to let it react. In order to get it to react, you need to heat it up first. So I'm going to burn it, and then it goes into the oxygen, and what you should see is lots and lots of like little sparkles. Right, that is the iron reacting with the oxygen to make what is called iron oxide. Okay, again, that is quite a classic reaction in terms of what you see. It's why when you do fireworks, particularly like sparkler fireworks, you get the sparkle effect, and that is because inside the I suppose the gunpowder that's on the sparkler, there's a little bit of iron, and it's the iron that is making the sparkles. Alright, so the second part of the experiment is iron reacting with oxygen to make iron oxide. And again, if you go through your prac sheet, it asks you to draw a little picture of iron, a little picture of oxygen. Don't forget that oxygen is a diatomic molecule, and iron oxide. And then it asks you to write a balanced chemical equation from that.